August birthday? Anybody birthday in August? Right here. Come give me a hand. You raised your hand. Doesn't that mean I'm volunteering? That was a little dirty, wasn't it? When's your birthday? 29th. August 29th, so you barely made into August. Yes. And your name is? Matt. Matt, what's your last name, Matt? Mead. Matt Mead. Let's give Matt a hand. Isn't that awesome? All right. So, Matt, I knew it was going to be somebody's birthday, so I stayed up last night, made chocolate cake. You like chocolate?
I do, but I'm on a diet.
You do? Okay. Well, I bet you can give that to somebody. By the way, it even comes with a little fork. Talk about temptation. I think Satan lined that whole baby up. Yeah. Yes. So thanks so much. Congratulations. I'm not going to ask you how old you are or how much you weigh. You're on a diet. Give Matt a hand. Give Matt a hand. Now, that was a pretty good deed, wasn't it? You thought all pastors were jerks. Look at that. But let me tell you the rest of the story. When I handed Matt the chocolate cake, he said to me, "Hey, are there any nuts in it?" I said, "No, I know some people don't like nuts. Do you know some people that don't like nuts? Because they just feel funny in their food." And so I said, no, there's no nuts in it. And so he said, "Well, thanks." And he went and sat down. And what I didn't know, though, is that Matt is deathly allergic to nuts. When he was 2 years old, one cold March day when Dairy Queen opened in Alpena, his dad took him down to Dairy Queen, and he got a little hot fudge brownie delight with nuts on it. And he took just a real little spoonful, and he gave it to Matt, and it had a peanut on it. And Matt put that in his little mouth, and he was kind of gnawing on it. And all of a sudden, his breathing started to sound like he was struggling, and his dad wasn't sure what was going on. And then his little face began to turn purple, and his dad panicked. And so he ran Matt down to the emergency room at the hospital. And sure enough, Matt was deathly allergic to peanuts. His little lungs weren't functioning right. His little body was clenching and unclenching. His airways were beginning to shut down. He literally was dying. Fortunately, the physicians were able to care for him. And ever since, he's never been able to come even close to peanuts. Well, last night, at midnight when I was making the cake, and it called for a half cup of oil because it's a real super moist cake. And I reached up in the cabinet there to get the oil, and there was no canola oil, and there was no vegetable oil, but way there in the back, there was some peanut oil that my wife keeps in case I ever catch a fish. And I took that peanut oil out, and I poured a half cup, and I dumped it in that cake, and I mixed it all in. So as Matt leaves here this afternoon, he is really committed, and being on the diet helps, so he doesn't dig in during service. But as he's leaving the driveway, even though he never texts and drives, he does eat chocolate and drive. He reaches over and he digs his little spork into that, and he takes a couple of quick bites. He can run later to work it off. And as he heads up 23, the allergic reaction kicks in. His muscles begin to clench and unclench. His airways begin to close down, and he accidentally, out of his control, jerks his vehicle in front of a semi, is T-boned, and he's killed. I did something really good, didn't I? I gave him a piece of birthday cake. That's not bad. The problem was my good deed was fatally flawed. You see, God...